Hello friends, and welcome to Fishtale. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so very much. Fishtale is my lovely survival world where I have given myself the goal of catching 300,000 fish while also trying to recreate the game of Wavetale inside of the game Minecraft. Except I'm in the middle of the ocean, so the resources are a bit hard to get, but at least the fish are plentiful. That being said, I think for this series, I'll be trying to do a little bit more of a balancing in my building and my fishing, because I know in one of my older series, Fishcraft, it took me over a year to get to the 300,000 fish, and I don't want to do that again. I mean, I want to play for a year, but I don't want it to take that long. So I think what we are going to do for this series is we're going to do a little bit of a back and forth between building videos and then of course fishing videos. And I have always wanted to do videos where it's just me doing a bunch of fishing, but I know that's quite boring. So I'll try to do a little bit of other stuff in between all my fishing and everything, like maybe a little bit of resource gathering or something like that, but no major projects. And that being said, in this video, we are going to be doing as much fishing as we possibly can, though it may be on the shorter side because I do only have 4 days for this video instead of the regular 7, or I guess 6, because I need 1 for editing. But this video is only going to be 4 days of fishing and whatever else I can do. But before we get into all of that, we are going to jump immediately into fishing as much as we possibly can for the next 3 days, of course. And then I will see you all whenever we get back. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And welcome back from the big old fishing time lapse. It has certainly been a time lapse, I will say that right now. Oh my goodness, it has been 7 whole days of fishing. Not non-stop, of course. I have been taking breaks. So yeah, I haven't done as much fishing as I wanted to for an entire week, but believe me, I still have a lot more that I'm gonna do. And I did actually die on accident too. My chicken Wallaby pushed me off when I fell asleep. my chicken killed me. So that was cool. But we got some levels back. It doesn't matter anyway, because I don't use very many levels. Anyway, welcome back. We've got some things that we need to do in this video. That is not fishing for once, because I read a comment. I got a comment not too long ago from somebody that left some very good information about wandering traders, and I definitely need to do that. I need to take what they said and I need to do it. Right, so the comment basically was saying that you need a 48 or was it like a 49, I think? 49 by 49 solid blocks for it to get wandering traders to spawn, and I think that's been my problem. I've been on I've been on not that's for sure. Look at how big this island is, and it's no wonder that in 326 days I have had 1 wandering trader spawn. That being said, I hopefully am going to be fixing that today, so we are going to be building a lovely little platform somewhere in the distance, quite a ways away from this platform, I reckon. I don't want to be too close to where I live, since it's gonna be very ugly. But I wish I had thought of this earlier, before an entire week of fishing was gone. But yeah, that's fine. That's better late than never, I suppose. Yeah, but we do need some wood, so we gotta plant some trees up, and we're gonna get some saplings growing, and we're gonna collect as much wood as we possibly can, and we're gonna build ourselves a lovely platform somewhere. We gotta get these trees. Wallaby. Wallop. This chicken's name is actually Barnold B. Wallaby, or you can just call him Wallop for short. I don't know. I don't know why I just thought of this name. That's fine. I love it. Wallaby. Wait, does that mean his middle name starts with a B? That's interesting. I don't understand this, but it's fine. Do I have any oak wood here? I have 4. Wow, I have 4 pieces of oak. Maybe I can grow some bamboo on top of a mushroom? I probably could check that. But yeah, we're gonna put some saplings down. And how do I get it? Can I grow bamboo on the ground? No, I can't grow bamboo. That's fine. We'll put the leaves here. I guess that's really it. There's not much else to do here, I'll be honest. I guess Barnold B. Wallaby and I are gonna go right back to fishing then. Yeah, while we're waiting for these to grow, I guess. 2 seconds. Sorry. That's probably enough. And ta-da! All right. We are now off to make ourselves the lovely platform. I probably should I need to bring my bed. 2 seconds. Beep, 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 beep. All right, let's get this platform made. And here we are on top of our lovely little platform, which I could have made a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. But I stuck with the 4949 that the YouTube comment says. For some reason I didn't double check any information here. This could be wrong. This could be right, and I could be wrong. I'll figure it out. But all we have left to do now is to wait for our lovely wandering traders. Oh, thank goodness I brought my emeralds. Okay, I forgot I had to bring those. I would have to go all the way back, whatever direction it is. I think we're gonna do 3 more days of fishing, and then we're just gonna wait for whatever wandering traders spawn. Oh, that's exciting. That's so exciting. All right, let's just jump straight back into this. I'm so sorry. And here we are. It has now been officially 3 days of waiting and fishing on this platform. I am sorry that this video has been delayed so much. It was originally only supposed to be 4 days long for the entire video, but I was not feeling very well, so I was not able to record pretty much anything for the first 4 days. So then I thought, well, it's okay. I'll just release it in the following week. So this video is going to be 2 weeks worth of fishing, which is fine with me because I do love fishing, of course. That being said, it has been now another 3 days of fishing on top of the original 7, and we have gotten 4 wandering traders in this time. Now, is that good? I sure hope so. I don't really know the spawn rates really of wandering traders, but it has been 433 days, and I've gotten maybe 5 of them total this entire series. I'm gonna hope that that's good. Because this has been a long time. I haven't really got much of anything that I wanted from the wandering traders. I did get a few saplings, but they are not the right saplings. I really needed mangrove and pale oak. Didn't get any of those, or even the dark oak. That is going to be especially helpful as well. But that is okay. I am very, very happy with what we've got. We've gotten 4 total saplings now. We've got oak saplings, we've got jungle, we've got spruce, and we've got cherry grove. So our wood collection is coming right along. That is so cool. That being said, we're gonna start planting these things up. Maybe I should do it. Honestly, I feel like I should start doing the planting over in this location, right? So that I can try and keep my industrial area a little bit separate from my actual like building lovely area that direction somewhere. Oh, though I should be careful. I've got quite the map of things that I need to build in this world, so I do really need to be careful where I put things, because if I make like an entire industrial district over here that's all redstone and stuff, and it's on top of where I need to build something in the future, then I'm just gonna have to remove all of this, because I do really want this place to be accurate to my references that I'm building from. Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention it. I completely forgot to mention it in my first episode. My lovely little island that we have was actually I kept on saying that it was referenced from the game Wavetale. However, I did not show at all what the actual reference was. And one of you actually guessed on the head what it was. It was the little island from the game in Wavetale where you meet the shadow for the first time. And I thought that was really cool that some of you actually knew that. So good job, Fellowfoot. Also, a little bit of a fun fact. In a boat in Minecraft, I have never been able to get the thing to row in a straight line, and it is infuriating for me. I don't know why, but I've resorted to only using the Nautilus or swimming because the boat it just drives me insane. I like to follow the grid pattern here, and I can't do that in a boat. It goes like 3 degrees or something to the left or to the right. Like when you turn the boat, no matter what you do, you can't get it to follow this exact line here, and that just drives me crazy. So I don't use the boats anymore. It's too much. I've spent the whole time going like this, trying to readjust, and it just doesn't do it properly. Oh, the world is not ready for when I get a dolphin. If I can start collecting dolphins, I'm gonna collect them all onto a lead, and I'll just swim around everywhere with the dolphins connected to me, and I'll just be able to ride really quickly anywhere. Especially when you get Depth Strider. Oh my goodness, you go very, very fast. And with that, we are now home finally. Oh, it feels very good to be home. I really, really don't like that pillar, or not the pillar. I really don't like that platform of wood. It's got like a weird visual for all the different planks. It's been a long time since I've used just one wood type for a platform, and it looks awful. It kind of starts to distort itself from a distance, and it looks funny. But this is our home. This is our lovely little island that I was saying before that we referenced from the game Wavetale. So here is the island, and then here is the reference image. My island is a little messed up right now, but that is totally okay with me. So right now what we are going to do is I think we're going to take this dirt over to the wooden platform, and we're going to plant all those different trees and stuff just to have them around, and maybe collect a few more extra saplings, so that we've got a solid collection of all the different wood types that we might be needing in the future. Now, I don't need any of them right now, except for a spruce. I think maybe we could use a little bit of spruce right now. That would be lovely. However, I am not interested in building anything today. I think the only thing that I want to do, really, is finish up my little starter island here, in that the bottom of it is not finished. It kind of just is floating here, which doesn't look very good at all. So really all we need is a bunch of sandstone that's going to come down and connect to the floor here, and then also it's going to cover up our ugly little chest monster that we've got down here. Or I guess technically it's a barrel monster, isn't it? First things first, with this platform we need to make a dedicated little tree section. So I think we're just gonna do this little spot over here, and we're just gonna make like a little wall of some dirt, and we're gonna plant all of our different trees on here, and then we're just gonna let them do their thing. Now, I don't need to use all of this dirt, but I don't really have much of a use for it otherwise, so I think it's fine here, and this is probably gonna have to work. All right, so this is gonna be our spot. This is gonna be the tree spot. So I think we're gonna do one every couple of blocks. We've got our oak tree, 1, 2, 3, block, 1, 2, 3, tree, and I guess sugarcane. We'll put sugarcane on the corners, that's fine. And now I guess we just wait for these to grow, and then boom, we've got ourselves a lovely little tree start. I just really hope they drop a sapling. Surely they all would have a sapling dropped after this, right? I made sure to get 2 of the jungle ones because I know they have a hard time with the sapling drop. I know their rates are lower than the other ones, so I just wanted to make doubly sure that we get one. That being said, we now need a bunch of sand. Now, and I don't know really the best way to go about getting that, I'll be honest. Never mind. I just did a little bit of Googling, and it turns out that inside of the warm oceans, pretty much the entire bottom half of it is pretty much all sand. So where all the coral and everything is. And I don't know why I didn't really think about that before, especially considering I've been to one a few times. So, whoopsie, I just missed out on a bunch of sand. So I guess we're gonna go straight back over to one of those, and then maybe we can pick up some dolphins along the way as well, because apparently also dolphins don't spawn in cold ocean biomes. And guess where we are? That's a big whoops, but it is totally okay. I'm fine to do some exploring. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to go, and we're gonna get a couple of dolphins while we're out, and we are going to gather maybe an entire inventory full of sand. I don't really know what else I could do. Maybe I could bring a couple of chest boats with me, and then attach them to the Nautilus. And I'll just have the Nautilus tow them while I'm driving. That sounds really fun. Actually, I think that's what I want to do. That's a cool little adventure. So we're going to go, and we're going to gather as much sand as we possibly can for all of the different shoreline builds that we've got planned, and just for general use. And then, I think we're going to finish our lovely little starter island. So, with that being said, let us just jump straight into a little sandy fish time lapse. And we got our jungle sapling. That's lovely news. Let's get into this. And we are back, and we've got 2 whole llamas full of sand and 2 chest boats, which is, I think that's 2 inventories full of sand and just a little bit extra for the llamas. Because one of them is a 3x3 grid, and the other one is a 2x3. So one of them isn't the greatest for storage, but that's fine. Plus whatever I have in my inventory here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 stacks of sand. So we've got plenty for some projects. However, I do realize that for every 1 piece of sand, or that for every 4 pieces of sand, that is 1 piece of sandstone, and that's what I use to build my structures and everything. So as much as I think this is a lot of sand, it's probably not. It's probably not nearly as much as I'm gonna need. So we're definitely gonna need to make our way back. I really did not enjoy that process of breaking blocks underwater with this shovel. That is not very good at all. That took absolutely forever. And I really need to go find a land. Maybe in my next episode, I'll go out on a big old adventure and we'll try and find any piece of land mass. Because we're currently, 3,000 blocks in one direction, and there's still nothing. So hopefully we'll try to find something eventually here. But for the time being, this is going to have to work because we've got plenty of sand for our project, which is going to be fully restoring our lovely little island for the starter base, I mean. And then maybe we also can drain the inside of it, because I know I wanted it to be some form of a base, right? And right now it's just a tiny little island. And that doesn't really work very well for much. So maybe I'll hollow it out, and we'll do a little bit of draining, and we'll make it to where we can use it as a functional base of some sort. Because there's plenty of space in there. It's just filled with water, that's all. Which isn't inherently bad, honestly. A house completely filled with water sounds lovely to me. There'd be all kinds of fish in the water, I imagine. I have such a hard time trying to do activities in the water, because it feels like I'm on top of ice, and it makes me like float all over the place, and it's quite annoying, and it gets in your boots, and it's quite a lot. So I prefer to have my house completely empty. Maybe a little damp is fine. You know, I could sleep in some wet sheets, but for the most part, we're probably gonna drain it. Well, I forgot what direction I was going. Where is my house? Oh, no! No! I forgot my dolphins. Ah! Dolphins! Yes! Dolphins! Oh my gosh. Okay. We only need a couple of them. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Here, let's drop something for him to pick up. I've got such a fleet. Okay, this way. Wow, we're going so fast. Who needs to do anything else? Who needs boats or Nautilus or anything in this game? We've got dolphins. I need to make them a little fence post where I can tie them, and then we'll be able to just use them quicker than elytra, I imagine. If we get depth strider, we'll just go meow, just fly everywhere. Oh, you know, that's actually quite a good idea. When we get home, maybe I could put some depth strider on my boots. I know I don't have any like diamond boots or anything like that, but I think it'd still be worth it, right? Since we've got all these lovely people behind us, or fish, amphibians, mammals, friends. Yes, that works. We've got all these friends, and I would benefit severely from Depth Strider, so maybe we'll do that as well. Goodness, this is quite the tally of things I need to do, and I don't have nearly enough time to do it. I spent all my time fishing. Whoopsie. Oh, wait a second. Wait, how many fish do I even have caught now? I didn't even check. 25,568 fish. That's pretty good. That's not nearly as much as I would have hoped from around 3 weeks of fishing, but it certainly is pretty good for me. We're only on episode 2 as well. This is gonna be so great. I'm very happy with this series so far. I was a little on the fence about it at first. I got a little overwhelmed by how much I have to build for this series in terms of like resources and all the different farms, but it took me a little while, but I definitely feel comfortable now, and this is very exciting. All I needed to do is just not think about it and fish, and everything's great. So I am sorry if this is quite a weird episode. This one was meant to only be fishing. All of this is just extra stuff, I'll be honest. Alright, let's hurry up and go home. I've talked too much. And we are back home now at our lovely little island. So now that we have our... Oh, hi Wallaby. Good to see you. Now that we have all of our friends here on the fence posts and everyone's secure and they're not gonna drown, I think we are good to get started. We're good to do some building and stuff now. So we just need to convert a majority of this sand to sandstone, and then I guess we'll just pop down there and just throw everything together as best as we can. Anyway, let's do some sand placing very quickly. Oh my goodness, here we are. This is our lovely little starter base, all fully finished. It's just like a little rock. Or actually, you know what? I take it back. It's not fully finished. There still is a few more bits and bobs that we need to do for this on the upper section, including a big old metal ring for some reason that wraps around. I'm pretty sure it's this side right here. It might be right here. I'm not really sure exactly still. But yeah, we've still got a big old piece of like metal scaffolding or something like that to wrap around this side. Definitely gonna have to do that in the next episode, I suppose, to get this thing finished. So this is our lovely little starter island where we will be doing a majority of our fishing until we can get started on the actual main island that we'll be living on, which is called the Night Orchard, by the way. Though we are still quite a ways. We are still quite a ways away from that. We're gonna need a bunch of smooth basalt and I think brown mushrooms, since you know the whole sand in this world is just brown mushrooms for some reason. That was a great idea. Anyway, we have now we've got some fishing to do. We've got our starter base for the most part finished. So I don't really have much left for me to do in this video, except for to do just a little bit more fishing while we wait for some wandering traders to spawn. However, we do need to do that on the platform we made. So we need to go over to wherever we made that at. I think it's at 1,000. And we also get to try out our dolphins, and they are going to be so fast. They're going to be so fast. Okay, so we need to figure it out. It's 1,000. So this direction. All right, here we go. This is so crazy. I'm so glad we did this. Oh my gosh. Elytras are a thing of the past in a world that is an ocean. All you need is 2 dolphins, depth strider, and you are good to go forever. I wonder if this stacks. Can I get more than 2 dolphins and go even faster? That would be crazy. I've got 2 leads here. Maybe I can find some if I get to a different biome. That would be insane. Hold on. Actually, I'm lost. All right, let's I'll tell you when I find my home. I really am not okay. Oh, thank goodness, there it is. I checked all 4 directions except for this one. Okay, well, we've got a bunch of fishing we need to do over here since we are waiting for the wandering traders to spawn. I don't think this is one of them. This is an old wandering trader here. All right, we've got our lovely dolphins parked over here on this little fence post. It is quite cool that they kind of sit underneath. And when you're on a Nautilus, you can stick your head out the top of these. It's funny looking. All right, well, I guess while we are doing all of the... Is this an old one? Yeah, this is an old wandering trader. So we've got a few emeralds left. We can still do some trading when some spawn. So we're really just looking for the mangrove poppy ghoul and the pale oak saplings. However, if we get the pale oak ones, I think I'm gonna have to go do a bit more of an emerald search somewhere so we can buy 4 of them. Or the dark oak ones. Either of them are fine. Anyway, I'm gonna do some fishing now for a moment. I've got 1 hour before I need to finish this video, so I will let you all know whenever we get some cool stuff. Oh, that's right. I forgot. I would really love some names for the dolphins if we can. I gave them some temporary names so that they didn't despawn, but that is it. So I do really need some names for these lovely dolphins that we're probably going to be using for a long time. So if anybody has any suggestions, I would be very much in debt to you, and thank you so much. And let's get straight into fishing. Boop 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 boop. 1 hour later, there's no wandering traders. Not even one of them spawned. Oh goodness, that's a shame. But that is totally okay. I don't need them right now anyway. I think for the in-between of the videos, I will AFK here as much as I can and maybe do a little bit of fishing while we're doing that, maybe. I'm just still not exactly sure what to do for this series. But I do know that I need a lot of saplings and a lot of mangrove as well for starters. So I guess we're just gonna wait for these wandering traders now. But that being said, I think I've just about run out of time for today. So thank you so much for being here today and watching these weird videos that I make. I appreciate every single one of you so much. And I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.